Herman Cain.
Does not lie in not reaching your goals. The tragedy lies in having no goals to reach for. It's not a calamity to die with dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity to have no dreams. The American dream is under attack, but the good news is we are fighting back. We're fighting back. I believe that because of the spirit of America, we will win it back. The spirit of America started with founding fathers when they envisioned the greatest country in the world, decided that they wanted to fight for their independence. That's when the spirit of America began. And one of the great things about the founding fathers' vision for America, they didn't set the bar low, they set the bar high. In order for us to work up to those ideals that all men are created equal. They didn't say some men, all men are created equal. And the spirit of America has guided this great nation throughout its history. We have survived a lot as a nation. But the spirit of America, from its beginning up until the present day, has not been the political elites or the people in Washington, D.C. The spirit of America has been, is, and will always be, we the people of America. You know, there are a number of great things about this nation that have made it strong, that has allowed it to succeed. And one of those things that has allowed this nation to succeed is our political freedom. Just look at what's going on in Egypt and Libya and other countries around the world. We do our talking at the ballot box like we did last November the 2nd. That's when we express our political freedom. At the ballot box. And the good news is, if we don't like what's going on every 2 years, we can change it again. That's the good thing about it. Another one of those pillars of the spirit of America that has made us great, our economic freedom. You know, the administration continues to try and convince us that the economy is recovering. I wrote a book called They Think You're Stupid. I should have named it They Really Think We Are Stupid. After we are told that all of this spending is supposed to stimulate the economy, it did not. After we are told it's supposed to bring down the unemployment rate, it did not. Here's what we should have done, folks. We should have lowered the top corporate tax rate from 35% to 25% because we're the only country that has not done so. We're the only developed country on the planet that did not lower its top corporate tax rate in the last 15 years. Secondly, we need to lower the capital gains tax rate to zero. These are not rocket science ideas. I call it common sense. Common sense solutions. Number three, suspend taxes on repatriated profits. That's those profits that companies make in other countries and they leave them in other countries because if they bring them back here, the liberals are going to tax it again. Last time this was done was under George Bush. Nearly $350 billion came back into this economy, and it is estimated based upon our economy today that if they were to do that today, nearly $1 trillion will come back into this economy. This is how you stimulate the economy. And number five, you know that 2 percentage point tax holiday that they threw as a bone to the American workers? Well, if they really wanted to stimulate the economy, they should have given a complete tax holiday for a year for the employee and the employer. That really would have begun to stimulate the economy. You see, this economy has economic potential. If we could just get government out of the way. If we could just get government out of the way, this economy has the right potential. Our political freedom is one of the strengths that has made this country great. Our economic freedom is one of the strengths that has made this nation great. And then a third one that has made this nation the greatest nation on the world, the greatest nation in the world. By the way, in case no one has said it today, we are an exceptional nation and we're going to keep it that way. Mediocre is not in our DNA. We are an exceptional nation. I don't know any mediocre Americans, not mediocre patriots. We are an exceptional nation. And one of the things that made us exceptional from the beginning was America's ability to change. Our resiliency. Our ability to change. We've gone through a lot and survived. You go all the way back to the beginning of this country. We had to fight a revolutionary war in order to get our independence from old King George. We've had to survive slavery, a black spot in our history. We had to survive a civil war. Abe Lincoln led this nation in order to keep it together, and he did. We survived World War I. We survived the Depression. We survived the World War II. We survived the civil rights struggle of the 50s and the 60s. We survived the meltdown of 2008. And because of patriots in this room and watching online and those that are all over this country, because of the patriots, we will survive 2 more years of Barack Obama until we can replace him. I get questions from reporters all the time. Do you think this Tea Party thing, now we are a thing. You know, we're not a movement according to them, we are a thing. Do you think it's gonna die down and go away? No! It's just bad. And I always tell them with the same, my response is the same every time. The sleeping giant is awake and it's not going back to sleep. The sleeping giant is awake. It's not going back to sleep. So they can try to demagogue it, call me names. Do you all know that you get called racist for being a Tea Party person? Well, I got a long list of names they call me. You know? I mean, the list just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. I even started a list and put it on the wall of my studio, my radio studio. And then one night I was doing a radio show and I got a guy to call, and I thought I had all of the names. He came up with a new one. He calls and he goes, and this is how he sounds. Mr. Cain. Yes, sir. You are shameless. Excuse me, sir. You are shameless. Oh, why did you say that, sir? I'm still trying to be polite. It's shameless that a black man will disagree with our black president. I said, sir, I have two thoughts for you that may be difficult for you to comprehend. But work with me here, okay? Work with me. Number one, and this may shock you and a lot of other people, some black people can think for themselves. I don't need somebody to tell me how to think or how to vote. That's why this is the United States of America. I said, secondly, sir, this one may be even more difficult for you to comprehend. When we reach a point where we cannot criticize constructively our elected, leader is probably an exaggeration. When we can't criticize our elected representatives at all levels, when we can't criticize them, we are no longer the republic that the founders envisioned. We have become a nation ruled by tyranny, and we are not going to let that happen on our watch. But this is all the left has, is to call us names. Why? Because we are succeeding at taking this nation back. So stay informed, stay involved like you're doing. And thirdly, stay inspired. They want you to believe that you're not making a difference. They want you to believe that they've got, their little agenda going, and we are not going to be able to make some more changes in November 2012. Stay inspired. One of the things that inspires me is when I think about the first time I saw the face of my first grandchild. This was 12 years ago, 1999. The first time I looked in that little face, my first thought wasn't, what do I do to make sure she has a good future? No. My first thought was, what do I do to make this a better world? Because you see, when my children were born, and when your children were born, you thought about their future. children are born, you think about the future of the nation. Ask any grandparent. That's why we're here. It ain't about us. And that's the inspiration. My inspiration also comes from my mom and my dad. I came from a very humble beginning. My dad worked 3 jobs at one time. He was a barber, a janitor, and a chauffeur. He needed 1 job to keep a roof over our head, 1 job to put food on the table, and that 3rd job to save for his dreams, his American dreams. One of his dreams was for his sons to get a little bit better start in life, just like your parents wanted you to get a little bit better start in life, and just like we're trying to ensure for our children and our grandchildren, so they can get a little bit better start in life. And this movement is on the move. It is on the move. And it was one of our greatest presidents who reminded us of the task ahead of us. That is, the giver that is. He reminded us that freedom is never more than 1 generation away from extinction. We can't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for and protected so they can do the same. For one day, we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our grandchildren what the United States of America used to be when men were free. I'm not going to have that conversation with my 3 grandkids, and I don't think you want to have that conversation with your grandkids. And we have a breaking news